Hey friend, happy Monday. It's the very first Monday of this year, and look, here we are, we made it. Listen, I know that Monday triggers all sorts of different emotions, and depending on who you are, Mondays may symbolize something different. There's those type of people that can't wait to wake up each Monday and slay the goals that they've set for themselves. They look at Monday as a clean slate and they're ready to jump in and on the action with their own 2 feet. Nobody has to tell them twice. And then there's those people that absolutely dread Mondays, that once that alarm hits Monday morning, they're hitting the snooze button. And perhaps it's because they're stuck in a mundane job. Perhaps they might be stuck in a relationship that they don't enjoy. Maybe they just have no adventure in life and nothing to look forward to. And if you happen to fall in that second category, the category of people that dreads Mondays, I want to just reach out to you and share with you that you're under no obligation to remain a prisoner to your current circumstance. And I get it. Moving forward from your current circumstance might be a challenge that is super intense and difficult, and it might even set off trigger emotions of anxiety and pain, and perhaps it just makes you feel super small and super powerless and weak. But with that said, you will never be able to move forward in life unless you give yourself permission to start to vision life outside of your circumstance. Listen, I want to share with you a little bit about my journey in life and where I'm at and where I've been. And currently, well, actually for the past 10 years, I've been working in higher education. I've been working with students, helping them put together plans of action to move forward and to build careers and to build a life that they desire to have. And aside from that, I've also been a coach for the past 5 years. I've been a self-awareness coach, I've been a life coach, and I've helped empower people to build lives in alignment with who they were created to be. I've been able to obtain a Master's of Business Administration and a Master's of Science in Psychology, and I'm halfway through a Master's of Science in Counseling, and I know I sound like I'm super confused, and let me tell you, at one point in my life, I really was. But I work in higher education, and education's available to me. I love learning, so I have a healthy addiction, you would say. But listen, I didn't always envision myself being able to do the things that I do and to work in the capacity that I'm working in. As a matter of fact, as I grew up very humbly. My father was an elderly man. He had a small farm. He was an amazing farmer, but a horrible business person. So we didn't have much. We always had food, and that's because we grew our own food. But I grew up dirt poor, wearing hand-me-downs from my cousins that grew up in a time about 10 years before me. So I was never fashionable as a child, but I always experienced love. I always experienced belonging. I'm super grateful for that. When I was about 5 years old, my dad told me I was going to have to start working with him in the fields. And so he would take me to go work with him, and he taught me the way of life of a farm laborer. And so I found myself, up until the point of graduation, when I graduated high school, working alongside undocumented migrant workers. And they were amazing people. I just want to say that. And there were people who lived a very rich life. And when I say rich, it's not because they own material things. It's because they made the best out of what they had. And there's so many life lessons that I learned from them that I'm super grateful for. But one of the things that did for me is that I always viewed other people as experienced success and other people as being able to have. And I always thought that I would never amount to much because my destiny was meant to be working out in the field, harvesting vegetables. In my case, that was we grew chili peppers, and there was onions that were grown in my community. Actually, my very first paid job was working in an onion processing plant where I would stack 50-pound sacks of onions all day long. And there's so many people that will ask me if I played sports. No, I didn't play sports. I got yoked because I was lifting up those 50-pound sacks of onions all day long. But listen, that story, that narrative that I created about myself really imprisoned me for a long time. I had a limiting belief that I would never amount to something, that I didn't deserve anything. I'd look at some of the people, my peers that I worked around, people who had moved from another country, people who didn't have much, and they were amazing parents. They were amazing providers for their families, giving it all they had with doing back-breaking work to provide what they could for their families. And I created this narrative that that's exactly what I had to do. That was that's what I was destined to do, and I didn't deserve great things, because if I moved forward, then I was basically turning my back on my people. And so I struggled for the longest time to break free and to give myself permission to go to school, to focus, to move forward, and to create a life that I desired and that I enjoyed. Listen, I had to fall flat on my face and really almost lose everything to be able to finally be at a place where I broke free from the narratives that I created. And I'm very grateful that I did that, because I'm able to hold space for others in terms of being able to help them understand who they are, who they were created to be, and how to move forward from that. But listen, you don't have to wait till you fall flat on your face to begin to build a life that you desire to have. What is required of you is for you to begin to dream, for you to begin to envision a life outside of your current circumstance. Perhaps you don't have the adventure in life that you desire to have. Perhaps you're stuck in a soul-sucking job. Perhaps you're stuck in a soul-sucking relationship. Listen, what I want to encourage you to do today is to begin to make a list of how you would like to experience life. Tap inside it, and perhaps there's some emotions that come up whenever you begin to brainstorm and you begin to envision life outside of where you're at. Tap into those emotions and ask those emotions, what are you trying to tell me? If sadness is there, ask your sadness, what are you here for? What are you trying to point me towards? If fear or anxiety is there, ask that fear or anxiety, why are you present? And what are you trying to point me towards? Whenever we tap into our emotions, we tap into our heart, whenever we tap into our entire being, we're able to create a space where we no longer settle for what was handed to us, but we actually end up building like inner courage and determination to move forward and be all that God created us to be. Anyhow, my friend, happy Monday. I hope your year is just absolutely amazing. And listen, I would love to connect with you. Why don't you drop me a message in the comments, send me a DM, share this video with a friend so I can connect with them. But listen, let's make this year great. And I would love to hold the space for you as a coach. If you need help moving forward in life, if you find yourself stuck, let's connect, let's move forward. Let's create and live this beautiful life that has been handed down to us and gifted to us. You all take care. You have a blessed day. Bye.